Sveiki! Hi, my name is Baiba and I teach Latvian as a foreign language. Today, this is the fourth video about the verbs in Latvian language and it's dedicated to the third conjugation or third group of verbs, a reflexive form. It means the verbs that ends with ties. And let's start. So today I'll talk about, again, already several times did it, but just in case, so how can we classify the verbs in Latvian language? Yeah, darbības vārdi iedalījums. Then, reflexive verbs of the third conjugation in present. Yeah, trešās konjugācijas atgriezeniskie darbības vārdi tagadnē. And then briefly about third conjugation verbs in the past and the future as well, in this reflexive form. Trešās konjugācijas atgriezeniskie darbības vārdi pagātnē un nākotnē. So my suggestion would be to watch this video definitely after the third video. But if you have more time, watch all 3 videos about the verbs and then watch this one. But the minimum would be to watch the part number 3 and then this one. So classification. The group 0, irregular verbs, and the next video will be about this group. First conjugation verbs, 1 syllable. Second conjugation verbs, s in present and in the past, the same form. Third conjugation verbs, the present is short. There is 2 groups in the present. Past is longer. And we talk about this group and reflexive verbs. So how do we recognize reflexive or non-reflexive verb? So majority of the verbs, and the first ones you'll learn, are usually non-reflexive verbs. What the verbs that ends with a t. T. Strādāt, studēt, meklēt, and many other verbs. Tiešie darbības vārdi. And reflexive verbs, what ends with ties. Priecāties, mazgāties, spēlēties, and so on. So today, we will talk about this group of verbs and how to use them in the present, in the past, and in the future in all forms. Tagadne, present. Again, we still have these 2 groups. Remember when we talked about non-reflexive form, we had the verb mācīt. And the ending īt belongs to the first group. Vingrināt, āt also belong to this group. So with reflexive verbs, there's nothing different. It's exactly the same. Just pay attention to the īt, yeah, and āt before that ies. And again, peldēties, ēt, like in the non-reflexive form, yeah, that belongs to the second group. So here we have exactly the same. We just need to look a bit further away. Yeah, we need to look at what's happening before the t. So that's how we can divide these verbs in 2 groups. Yeah. It means that when we start to conjugate the verb, we lose all of this part. All of it we lose and we add a new ending. In the present only. In the past and in the future forms, it's going to be different. But in the present, we lose all ēties, we lose all āties, and we lose all ēties. Like half of the word we suddenly lose. And we add a new ending. Saprotami? That first group. There were verbs that ends, yeah, or has this ēties, āties. Here I wrote ināties. That's how you can recognize that these verbs belong to the third conjugation and the first group. Īties, ināties. but the change happens from when we lose āties. So that's what's in bold. We lose that, and instead we add our new endings. Es mācos. Es mācos. Tu mācies. Tu mācies. Viņš, viņa, viņi, viņas. Also tas and šis. Mācās. Mācās. Mēs mācāmies. Mācāmies. Jūs mācāties. Mācāties. So as you can see, for reflexive verbs, again, we have an ending os, like it was with the other reflexive verbs, we talked about in the second video. So that's the same, os. Again, es, There is a long A here. And in the first group, you remember already from non-reflexives, we have arm and art. And what do? We just add es. Yes. It's very similar to the non-reflexive form. We just need to remember this es. Here we add es. We need to learn this one, and we need to remember this one as well. Es klausos. Tu klausies. Viņš klausās. Mēs klausāmies. Jūs klausāties. Skatīties. Es skatos. Tu skaties. Viņš skatās. Mēs skatāmies. Jūs skatāties. Baidīties. It's not L, it should be I. My mistake. It's I. Latvian I. English I. Baidīties. Es baidos. Tu baidies. Viņš, viņa, viņas baidās. Mēs baidāmies. Jūs baidāties. Piedalīties. Es piedalos. Tu piedalies. Viņš piedalās. Viņa piedalās. Mēs piedalāmies. Jūs piedalāties. Vizināties. Es vizinos. Tu vizinies. Viņš, viņa, viņas vizinās. Mēs vizināmies. Jūs vizināties. Es vingrinos. Tu vingrinies. Viņš vingrinās. Mēs vingrināmies. Jūs vingrināties. Saprotami? If that's clear, let's move on. Tātad, for example, es mācos latviešu valodu. Mācos. So the infinitive form of this verb is mācīties. Not mācīt. If it would be mācu, then the verb would be mācīt. And the meaning would be to teach. But this form is to learn. Es mācos latviešu valodu. Tu klausies audiogrāmatu. Tu klausies audiogrāmatu. Viņš skatās jaunu latviešu filmu Netflixā. I haven't seen a Latvian movie on Netflix yet. But maybe. Viņa baidās no spokiem. Ghosts. She's afraid of ghosts. Viņa baidās no spokiem. Viņi piedalās loterijā. Viņi piedalās loterijā. Mēs vizināmies ar ragavām no kalna. Mēs vizināmies ar ragavām no kalna. Jūs vingrināties jau 4 stundas. Vingrināties. Vingrināties would be to practice something, but not to exercise. Vingrot, another verb, vingrot for exercise. Vingrināties is more about practicing some particular skill, I would say. Yeah, like to play violin or piano. Vingrinos. Yeah, we can vingrināt pirkstus if we need to practice to like train your fingers a little bit, maybe for a particular skill. Yeah. It goes very well with the musical instruments, but I believe it's not just the musical instruments you could work with. Vingrināties. Maybe you can vingrināties to read or to write or to conjugate verbs. Atbildi uz jautājumiem. So answer my questions now. Kādu mūziku tu klausies? Kādu mūziku tu klausies? Write down your answer. If you want me to check, send an email or write it in the comments after the video. Oopsie daisy. Sorry. Vai tu skaties latviešu filmas un seriālus? Series, seriāli. Kad tu piedalīsies maratonā? Cik ilgi tu mācies latviešu valodu? No kā tu baidies? Ko viņi dara? So that was about you. Now about someone else. Yeah, it could be not viņi only, but she or he, yeah? Viņš vai viņa. Excuse me. Ko viņš dara? Ko viņš dara? It's not just one right answer, yeah? But try to use the verbs. The reflexive verbs I just mentioned, yeah, in the table before. Ko viņš dara? Ko viņa dara? O viņš. Ko jūs darāt? So remember, jūs could be one person formally, if I address you each separately and formally, or you all as a student, or all family. So you can respond also as we. Make up something, yeah? Ko jūs darāt? You can take a part, or you can look. Ko jūs darāt? Stop the video when it's needed and continue. Otrā grupa, the second group. Remember, there is two groups in present. Yeah? So we'll learn that group ēties, āties. Now the other group what ends with ēties. Yeah, ēt, non-reflexive form, and ēties, reflexive form. Those are our endings. If we look at it briefly, very, very similar to those we had just now. And the verbs. Tā, peldēties, vēlēties, atcerēties, strīdēties, precēties. Es peldos, yeah, we lose everything what's ours from the onwards. Es peldos, es vēlos, es atceros, es strīdos, or nestrīdos. Yeah, remember to make a negative form, you just add ne in front of each of these verbs and verb forms. Es precos, tu peldies, tu vēlies, tu atceries, tu strīdies, tu precies. Viņš peldas, viņš vēlas, viņš atceras, viņš strīdas, o viņa strīdas, o viņi strīdas, o viņas strīdas, vai tas strīdas, un šis strīdas, vai nestrīdas. Viņš precas. Mēs peldamies. Mēs vēlamies. Mēs atceramies. Mēs strīdamies. Mēs precamies. Jūs peldaties. Jūs vēlaties. Jūs atceraties, jūs strīdaties, jūs precaties. The verb peldēt, we have this non-reflexive form peldēt. Yeah, that would be more for sports. Un peldēties for fun. To bathe, yeah. Vēlēt is to wish someone something. But vēlēties, to wish for yourself. It reflects back to you. Yeah, if you use the non-reflexive form, then you wish someone else something. Es vēlu jums jauku dienu. I wish you a good day. Bet es vēlos, that means that I wish for myself and maybe someone else as well. But it goes back to me that I'm the one that wants this for myself. Yeah? Es vēlos jauku dienu. Atcerēties, that is no non-reflexive form atcerēt. Strīdēt, no, also we won't use this non-reflexive form only. Yet for arguing will be this. Because to argue, of course, there should be someone else involved as well. Will be reflexive form only. Precēt. Could be used non-reflexive form precēt. But in the literature or texts from the a bit earlier times, precēt, and I think could be used only to the male person. He kind of married a lady. Yeah, precēt. Because he kind of merits the girl. Not the girl merits the man. Kind of thing. But precēties, both are involved equally. Ejam tālāk. Mēs peldamies jūrā katru vakaru. Yeah, we swim in the sea every evening. Man patīk peldēties jūrā. So in this sentence, man patīk peldēties jūrā. Peldēties is a second verb. Yeah, the first one is patīk. So second verb goes to the dictionary form. Infinitive form. Viņš neko neatceras, bet viņi precas rīt. Viņš neko neatceras, bet viņi precas rīt. Mēs strīdamies par taisnību. So we argue about the truth. Who is the right one? Yeah. Es ļoti vēlos iemācīties latviešu valodu. I really want to learn Latvian language. Very important to use prefix ia if you want to be not just in the process, but you want to know the language. Yeah, because if you don't use that prefix, it means that I really want to learn Latvian, but I want to be in the process. So I want to all day long, from the morning to the evening maybe. I want to work hard. But if you want to get the result, that you have their knowledge, then use the prefix ia. Very important. Labi. Atbildi uz jautājumiem. Answer my questions. Kur jūs parasti peldaties? Kur? Vai jūs vienmēr atceraties, kur ir jūsu telefons? Do you always remember where is your phone? Ko jūs vēlaties iemācīties? Ko jūs vēlaties iemācīties? What would you like to learn? What would you like to know, be able to do, to have a skill? Yeah. Ko jūs vēlaties mācīties would be which course would you like to apply to, like which course you would like to attend, to sit and study. But iemācīties, to have this final knowledge. Par ko tu parasti strīdies? If we have a preposition in front of the question word, it means it will be used in the answer as well. About what? Par ko tu parasti strīdies? If it's done, let's move on. So let's see the differences between the first and the second group. Was, is, same. And then we have differences here. Ās, āmies, āties, and as, amies, aties. So basically the first group got the long vowels, second group short A. Only the difference, yeah, for the reflexive verbs and between these two groups. Pagātne. Past and the future. Exactly again, like in the non-reflexive verb form, we keep the last vowel before t. Now we keep it and then we add a new ending. Yeah, just recognize that it's the vowel before t because now we have a longer endings, ts. Yeah, it's not the es or ies you take off, you take the ts off. And you leave the last vowel. Yeah, before we took it away. For the present, we took the vowel away as well. Now we leave. That's how we get this form and recognition that third conjugation verbs in the present is shorter than in the past and in the future. Yeah, because we lose the vowel in present, makes it much shorter. When we use it in the past and the future, we have an extra syllable. So now I will add ending after mācī, vingrinā, peldē, and a new ending. Yeah, before we had just māc, vingrin, peld, and a new ending. Tad pagātnē. Jos, yes, jās, jāmies, jāties. Tātad And here, we don't have two groups anymore. We don't need two groups because all the verbs will be conjugated the same way. No two groups anymore in the past and in the future. Only in present. For both non-reflexive and reflexive verbs. Tātad, yesterday, vakar, es vingrinājos, tu vingrinājies, viņš vingrinājās, mēs vingrinājāmies, un jūs vingrinājāties. Such a long word, right? Vakar es mācījos, tu mācījies, viņš mācījās, mēs mācījāmies, jūs mācījāties. Es vakar peldējos, tu peldējies, viņš peldējās, mēs peldējāmies, jūs peldējāties. Again, we have this yam and yāt plus es. Yeah, the only difference from non-reflexive to reflexive form. So try to use all the verbs I gave you in this lesson and practice in the past forms as well. Es vakar peldējos Daugavā. Not true, but. Tu šorīt klausījies raidierakstu. So this morning you were listening to the podcast. Viņš agrāk mācījās vācu valodu. So before he learned German. Mēs vēlējāmies apmeklēt mākslas muzeju, bet tas bija slēgts. So wished to attend or to go to the art museum, but it was closed. Jūs atcerējāties visus nosacījumus. You remembered all the requirements. Right? As always. Atbildi uz jautājumiem. Vai tu bērnībā mācījies kādu svešvalodu? Vai tu bērnībā mācījies kādu svešvalodu? So did you learn some kind of foreign language in your childhood? Svešvaloda, a foreign language. Some. In the past studied childhood. Kur jūs precējāties? So where did you get married? You can make up something if you haven't. Vai tu bērnībā baidījies no tumsas? Again, bērnībā, remember what that means? Baidījies no tumsas. Tumsa is dark. Or darkness. Nākotne, the future. Now again, if you look at the reflexive verbs from the second conjugation, the past and the future are made exactly the same way. Like for the second conjugation, if you learn there, so here you can just build up your knowledge with a new verbs and learn the present form, because past and the future will be made exactly the same way. Tātad future, es vingrināšos, tu vingrināsies, viņš vingrināsies. You see, it's the same. Mēs vingrināsimies, jūs vingrināsieties. Now, this form has a parallel form without vingrināsietis. Oh, I'm sorry, not this. My mistake, not here. Mācīšos, es mācīšos, tu mācīsies, viņš mācīsies, mēs mācīsimies, jūs mācīsieties. Jā. Peldēšos, es peldēšos, tu peldēsies, viņš peldēsies, mēs peldēsimies, jūs peldēsieties? Es rīt mācīšos franču valodu, un tu vingrināsies spēlēt klavieres. Tēvs klausīsies mūziku, un māte skatīsies seriālu. Vakarā mēs peldēsimies jūrā, bet jūs skatīsieties. Practice. Atbildi uz jautājumiem. Kā jūs domājat? Vai cilvēki nākotnē klausīsies audio grāmatas vai lasīs grāmatas? How do you think? In the future, will the people listen to the audiobooks or will still read the books? Write down your answer. I think that. Es domāju, komats, ka. I think, that. Es domāju, ka, and then your statement. Kā tu domā, vai karš turpināsies vēl ilgi? How do you think? Will the war continues for long? War, Ukraine war, I mean. Yeah, try to express your opinion. I think that. Es domāju, ka. Or maybe you know some other forms as well. Vai jūs piedalīsieties 150. dziesmu un deju svētkos šovasar? Will you take part in the 150th Song and Dance Festival this summer in Riga, in Latvia, of course? Yeah? Ne? Would like to? Or no interest? Write down your answer. That's the logo of this fifth festival. Ko viņi darīs šovasar? So what are they going to do this summer? Use your imagination. It's not just the one thing that they're driving, so maybe someone is watching or listening or participating or not participating. Or vingrināties, practicing. Or maybe learning. Lots of verbs you can use, yeah? Practice. Now it's a future form. Ko viņi darīs? Ko viņi darīs? Un ko viņi darīs? Tā. So the summary again. Yeah. In this moment we can see the non-reflexive and reflexive form in present, past and in the future. Yeah, for the third conjugation. Remember we have two groups in present. So in the S and two forms there is no two groups, it's always one. But then we have it in the third person, viņš. Yeah, two groups, and we need to remember the difference is there. For mēs, yeah, both groups. So those long and short vowels will play a role here, for sure. Yeah, especially if you are want to do an exams. So something, learn it correctly, learn it with the right letter, and always remember the long vowel or short vowel is not the same letter, it's two different letters. Imagine if the vowel A with the line on the top, if it would look different, would you still treat it as just the same letter with a line on the top? Probably not, right? So always remember it's two different letters. Don't use it one instead of another. I'm strict today. So yeah, for mēs and jūs, again we have these two groups. And then look what is the difference between a reflexive, non-reflexive form. Yeah, the difference is here is just that extra es, mēs and jūs, so easy. Start to use it. A bit more to study here. You see lots of differences. Yeah, no endings here. Then we have short as, long as in that part, and a here. E, non-reflexive, es, reflexive, so kind of easy. Now this one you need to keep in mind. But remember, for reflexive verbs, s is always with os. You see? In all forms, present, past, or future, os. Excuse me. Past. You know the verb you, ye, ya, yam, yant, I'm sure by now. So then let's look at the reflexive forms. But as I mentioned before already, so the past and the future for all the verbs will be the same. Yeah, at least a second and third conjugation. And we can't put the first conjugation, all the verbs in the same box, but past and the future will be same. Yeah, second, third conjugation, and many, of course, many first conjugation verbs as well. Compare and see what is the things you really need to learn and just keep in mind. Yeah, mēs and jūs in all forms, present, past, or future, just extra es for reflexive ones. Here we have short a, then long a, and s. S and then extra es. Then it's si and extra es, and these two are the same. And shu, and now we need os now, right, for s. So instead of u, it's os. Instead of u, it's os. Instead of u, it's os. Easy, right? But practice makes perfect, you know. Really would suggest you to write sentences, as many as you can. Simple sentences, maybe just 2 words, or it could be even 2 words or 3 words. You add a time adverb to make it past, make it future. And just, if you're not common with the nouns after the verb, just use who does what. Who does, that's it. Yeah. Šodien es klausos. Today I'm listening. Yeah. Today I'm practicing. Yesterday I practiced. Yesterday I listened. Tomorrow I will listen. Tomorrow I will practice. Very short, simple sentences, but in all forms, in the present, past, and future, and for everyone. Try to ask simple questions. Do you listen? Do you practice? Did you practice? Did you listen? Very simply, yeah? Labi, paldies jums šodien. Oh, not paldies, not yet. I forgot. Izņēmums, exception. Of course, that wouldn't be a Latvian language if there wouldn't be any exceptions. So we have an exception, gribēties. This was misspelled and I forgot to correct that. To die for, you know, something you really want to die for, not to die, but to die for. It's wrong spelling. You know what I mean, yeah? That you really, really want something to die for. Sometimes in English you can say that. It's misspelled. Ignore the spelling. Listen what I'm saying. So this verb, it's a reflexive, also belongs to this group, but we use it with man, not s. And as always with man, it means the verb has one form for all persons. Yeah? In present, man gribas, tev gribas, viņam gribas, viņai gribas, viņiem gribas, viņām gribas, mums gribas, jums gribas. One form for past, man gribējās, mums gribējās, viņam gribējās, tev gribējās, un gribēsies in the future. Man gribēsies, tev gribēsies, viņam gribēsies, mums gribēsies, jums gribēsies. So if you have a Latvians in the family, you probably hear they often saying this, man gribās saldējumu, man ļoti gribās something, yeah? And pay attention and remember, I heard this exception. Labi, now I think that's almost all. Ko jums tagad gribas? What do you want now? Answer my question. And paldies. Paldies jums, ka skatījāties. Paldies, ka klausījāties. Un if you have any questions, write an email. Feel free to comment. Write down in your comments all the answers to the question. If you liked, I will check and send my feedback. Paldies un uz tikšanos nākamajā reizē. I'll see you next time about irregular verbs. Veiksmi. Good luck. And also the next webinar. Yeah, check my page on Facebook to see when is the free webinars. Atā!